Hello and welcome to the Father and Son Pastime Podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin. How are you?
That's my dad. Dad, we are continuing with our draft feature. This is our only second draft, right? I mean, we really got into the first Hall of Very Good of the 90s. Both the 2000s and the 1980s version of that will be coming in the next several weeks. But today we're going to focus on a little bit of a cool draft. It's going to be really challenging, in my opinion. The international draft, both literally and figuratively here. So, baseball is made up of just a hodgepodge of every kind of cultural and background that you can imagine. We are going to highlight the non-Americans. So our job for this draft is to put together a baseball team, a 9-player squad plus a pitcher. If you want to include a DH, that sounds fine to me.
Yes.
I got a DH as an option.
I even have a manager.
I did not have that. That's fun. Well, cool. Have a manager then, Dad. I focus on the players. That is composed of non-American players. Some rules here. Obviously, we're going to use Baseball Reference. If there's any kind of like, oh, no, I think he's actually American, we'll check wherever they're born is where they're from. If they were born in Germany because their dad, was a military guy, but he grew up in America from day 30 of his life to now, he counts as German. If it's like Anthony Rizzo, who's born in America and plays for the Italian national team for baseball, he is not Italian. He's an American. So we're going place of birth for the international component of this draft. Now, the real challenge here is we're not just going to be drafting a solely Dominican team or solely Cuban team. Once you go to a country, you cannot go back to that country. So when you go to Canada's off your list. When you go to Cuba's now off your list. Now, doing the math behind this, little behind-the-scenes, research and work we do, we realize that there's a lot of countries that have heavy representation in MLB. I mean, we've got Japan, Korea, Cuba, Dominican, and Puerto Rico. So we will allow one country of the dealer's choice here to be two. You can go back to the well of a country twice, no more. So if I go Canada for my catcher and I go Canada for my right fielder, I can't double up any other country. I can't go to the Dominican twice, Puerto Rico twice, Cuba twice, etc., etc. So again, it's going to be an extremely diverse team. We want to celebrate all of our athletes. We want to bring attention to, not necessarily always the greatest player of like, oh, Hall of Famer here, 500 home run here. Who is the best representation of a certain country for the history of baseball? And I think that's going to be really fun. I really like this concept a lot, Dad. And if you remember what we did the last time we drafted, we did a random deck of cards draw to see who goes first. And that we'll kind of go from there. We'll just ping-pong our choices from there. Again, it's going to be a really strategic draft, really defensive. It can be really fun because once my dad chooses a certain player, that player's off the board. But more importantly, I could wait on that position. So if he drafts first as a catcher, I don't need to draft a catcher to the very end. But I have to be kind of smart because of the DH option as well. Mm-hmm. It can get kind of fun. It can get really silly. All right, so I play the rules enough to death as I normally do. Hope you are following at home. Hope you're kind of like, this is going to be kind of a challenging draft. That's the point. All right. Dad, would you like me to cut it? What would you like to do?
No, it's straight and I'm ready to go.
Okay. Go ahead. Wherever you want. We're drawing cards. Highest card gets to choose their draft order. They're probably going to choose first. Ace. That's high. I gotta draw an ace. I drew a 4. Dad, I'm assuming want to draft first?
Yes, I do.
All right, Dad, for the first overall pick of the international draft.
You got to choose your country first that you can get two from. That's what you should do, right? No?
No.
Okay.
It's very strategic. Okay. I could go to Japan or I could go to Puerto Rico. I have to play a little defense.
Okay.
To see where you pick from.
Beautiful. Well, I'll start out with catcher.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with a catcher that I think is probably the best defensive catcher and strong arm catcher. And in fact, that was your nickname when you were at baseball camp at Spalding.
That's a real bummer. That was my first overall pick, too.
Ivan Rodriguez from the Puerto Rico. So that's my first choice. And that's why I drew that ace.
Yes. All right. Great draft. Great pick. Clearly, I think it's a skilled position. There are obviously other options internationally for catcher, and I'm just going to be sitting on them. I know what country I'll be going to. I'm going to go ahead and get a pitcher.
Okay.
And I believe I'm going to get the best pitcher internationally ever. And I'm going to get Pedro Martinez.
You know what? He was my first draft choice as well.
I'm going to go to the DR, going to represent them, get Pedro Martinez. May come back to the DR. We'll see. But Pedro is my choice on the mound.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Now, can I go pitcher as well?
Yeah, you can do it. Again, strategically, it makes no sense to go pitcher, but you can do whatever you want.
I'm going pitcher right now.
Nope.
And you know what? I'm going Dutch. I'm going to Holland for Bert Blyleven.
That's fun. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher. I didn't have him on my board. Bert Blyleven, number 3rd overall pick on this draft.
Yeah.
He's from Holland.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. All right, so there's our pitching matchup.
Ha!
Sorry for the loudness there. So
it.
Pedro Martinez versus Bert Blyleven as starters. Okay, fun. Yeah, we're not going to go bullpen and closers and all that. Just the head-to-head pitching matchup. Okay. Well, now that Ivan Rodriguez is off the board, I can sit on catcher for a while. I will go to the island nation of Curacao and get Andrew Jones as my center fielder.
He was my first draft choice as well.
Yeah.
There's
There's no other person from that country that's going to be drafted, so I got that whole nation in my opinion. Curacao, Andrew Jones.
And that's your center fielder, correct?
I went pitcher, center fielder. I'm really happy with my draft so far.
Well, and by God, you should be. His son will be in the top 7 draft choices next year in the draft. Very good center fielder in Georgia. Could end up with the Cubs.
Could end up being on the father and son draft that we do in a couple weeks too.
Alrighty. I am.
A couple years.
I'm going to go first base.
Nervous.
I'm going first base. And I'm going to yet select someone else that I think is a fantastic player. One of your favorite players. Joey Votto.
Oh, you're going to Canada! Oh, that was my Canadian pick.
Oh, love it.
Okay. That's tough. All right. I'm going to have to redo my draft.
Good.
All right. Hey, this is fun. You got to play reactive to your opponent. Right now, I think you got a great draft going, Dad. I'm going to get my first non-Hall of Famer. I think he's a great player. But, again, this is about representing a spread of countries to fill a team. I'm going to go Xander Bogaerts from the island of Aruba to start at shortstop for me.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, he was one of mine too. All right, my turn. Yet another Hall of Famer. And I'm going to second base.
No! I should have picked him over Xander. Go ahead.
I'm going to surprise you.
No, I have it, but go ahead.
Rod Carew out of Panama.
Mm-hmm. I had a whole joke. I was going to take Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted. But son of a gun.
Out of Panama.
Oh, this is tough. All right. We're playing. We got to go find a second baseman fast. Okay. That's a good pick, Dad. You got a great team going. I mean, this is going to... I love where our heads are at that we're drafting. You've drafted 3 out of my top, I think, 6 picks, so clearly we're valuing players the same. I got skill positions. I got pitcher, center, short. I got to go find a first baseman somewhere. Gotta go to the well once more. I am just going to go to a whole new continent that we haven't drafted from yet. I'm going to go to the Asian continent. I'm going to go to Japan and get probably one of my favorite... I think he's one of the best recent right fielders in baseball, Ichiro Suzuki.
He is great.
And just absolute leadoff hitter here. I got Ichiro, probably then Xander as 2, Andrew Jones maybe 3, 4, or 5. We'll find out what the team ranks out as. All right, right field, pitcher, center field, shortstop, taken care of. Dad, who's up next for you?
I'm going shortstop.
Okay, fine. That's great. I can breathe.
And I'm going to the fine country of Venezuela. And probably...
I know who you're going.
Probably one of the best shortstops of all time. Hall of Famer. I think he had 11 gold gloves, by the way. Louis Aparicio.
Yes, it's a great pick. You're drafting a lot of Hall of Famers right now. Catcher is a Hall of Famer. First baseman's not, but I love Joey Votto. Aparicio, and now Rod Carew. Well done. Oh, and Bert Blyleven, too. Forgot about him.
That was my shocker for you.
All right, okay. All right. What should I get? All right, I got my right fielder, pitcher, center field, and shortstop. I got a good team so far, but I got to keep expanding. Check there. I think... What should I do? I will... this is so tough. I am going to go to the island of Puerto Rico and get Hall of Famer Roberto Alamar for my second baseman.
Good.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Roberto Alamar. I feel almost sad to say that I picked him, but it's not anything against you, Roberto. I really wanted Ivan from your country because the catcher is a little bit of a drop, but I'm still okay with who I'll get as a catcher. Roberto Alamar, second base.
Okay. I'm going third base, and I'm going with someone who was just a star during the 90s and was probably one of the first stars of the Colorado Rockies. Out of Mexico, Vinnie Castillo.
He's Mexican.
He is Mexican.
Great draft, Dad. Great research.
And you didn't think I was ready for this.
I didn't say you weren't ready for this. You just did different research than me. I thought I'd be really great with the Curacao, Panama, and Aruba, just like island picks, and you would go like, the chalk of, Cuba. We haven't even drafted Cuba yet. All right. A lot of options I could go here. I don't think there's really... I think I kind of almost have to go to my catcher, but let me see if I have to. We were talking about him earlier, and he can play first base or third base, and he started his career as a third baseman, and I'm going to draft Miguel Cabrera from Venezuela, who's probably arguably the best Venezuelan ever, sorry Louis Aparicio, as my third baseman.
Okay.
Yes, may move him to first if we have to, but right now I'm putting him at third, and we'll see how the draft shakes out.
Okay. I'm going to right fielder right now.
Okay, I drafted right field. We're good.
Yeah. I'm going right fielder, and he was one of the great hitters of the 60s and 70s. Played for the Minnesota Twins, Tony Oliva out of Cuba.
Tony Oliva. Okay. And you're putting him in right field.
Right. So he wore number 6.
Okay. Good pick, Dad. Good pick. All right. I got all right. So I'm looking at countries that I probably should start doubling up on, because that Rod Carew pick is tough. I think... I need to go to Canada, and honestly, I'm not sure where I'm going to put him just yet. I may have to move Ichiro around, or I may put this player at left field. But I think I'm feeling left field for left field Larry. Larry Walker is going to be my Canadian pick.
In left field?
I think I'll put him at left field. We'll see how the draft shakes out again.
So you're putting people in outfield positions just because they played outfield, because he was a right fielder.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But he still plays... Yeah.
Okay.
I could also move Ichiro to center and keep Larry in right. Ichiro was a right fielder, but, we got to be a little lenient.
Lean. Okay.
I bet Larry Walker played a few innings other than right.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
He was tremendous.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
Yes, I'm with you 100%.
The Canadian options were Fergie Jenkins, Joey Votto, or Larry Walker, so
yeah.
I did need Fergie.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We got Canada, we got Aruba, Curacao, Japan, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and the DR. Okay.
Well, I'm going to shock you a little bit here.
Shock me?
Yep. And I'm going to go with an outfielder as well that will be the MVP of this year, Shohei
Ohtani. You're going him as DH.
No, I'm putting him in left field.
Shohei's left field. Okay.
Yeah. And he is from Japan.
Yes, he is. Okay. I think that's fine. I'm moving some people around my outfield. That's fine. You can put him as pitcher or as a DH. I was really thinking Shohei could be, like, if I didn't get Pedro, I was thinking about doing Shohei and then going Votto at Canada. But yeah, a lot of options there. Okay. So I have my outfield set. I'm good on the outfield. I can rule out all outfielders unless I wanted a DH. Yeah, I definitely want to keep Andrew Jones in the center. Okay. I got looking for a first baseman and a DH. I need to go to the island of Cuba for my first baseman, Jose Abreu. First baseman, Jose Abreu.
Okay. I'm with you 100%. I think I only have one position left, and that is center field.
Okay. And who are you drafting?
And my center fielder, I can go back to any country because I've kept it singular.
It's very interesting that our last pick is the only double-up country. We did a really good discipline here.
Yes. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with somebody who's been a favorite of mine for a long time, out of the Dominican Republic, Vladimir Guerrero.
Wow. So I really think Shohei could be your DH now.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go Vladimir. He can play anything, but right now he's going to be in center field because he's the young Vladimir that played a little bit of center field back in the day.
Okay.
And then went over to right field because of that gun. And again, from the Dominicans, that's my only double up.
Oh, I don't have a catcher, right?
Ooh.
Hold on, I want to make sure here. I just want to make sure I drafted. Oh, I just want to make sure we're drafting in the right order here. I have a pitcher, center fielder, left field, right field, second short, third base, first base. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were going to save catcher.
I was going to save catcher, but I still need a DH.
Yes.
So do you have one more pick after this too?
I can find a DH very quickly.
Okay, so we both still need a DH.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well then for catcher, I'm going to go back to Venezuela. If you would have told me at the beginning of this draft what country would I double up on, I would not have thought Venezuela. But I'm going Salvador Perez as my catcher, who's having a monster year this year. Salvador Perez, Venezuela catcher.
Okay.
All right. So right now we get National League teams, it sounds like. What position do you not have? You got Guerrero?
I got DH.
I thought you got Shohei.
Right, okay, so I need another outfielder, and I have it right here.
Well, let's see. Who do you have? You have Vladimir Guerrero. Shohei is a possible, option.
Yes.
Tony Oliva.
Yes.
Okay, there's 3 outfielders. Where's your 4th? Do you have a 4th?
No, he's about to be named.
Okay.
I'm going to Korea for my last outfielder.
Okay.
Choo.
Choo.
Out of Korea.
Okay.
So I think that is cool.
I am trying to think, and I may have to do a little...
And I'm so happy I did this correctly, and I only double up once.
Yeah, that you did a great job. I'm going to... I can't believe this is our only baseball reference check here. But I'm going to check to make sure that this player is not from America. And then I will reveal it. I don't... It's also one of those things, do I even want to know? My last pick, who will end up being my DH... Fans at home, make or break draft here. I don't think he... The more I think about it, no. I think he's American. Yeah, he's American. I was saying Edgar Martinez. I really thought Martinez was like either Hispanic, Edgar Martinez, but it's not.
I thought he was from Puerto Rico.
Edgar Martinez is not. That's why I checked. He's from
he's
from New York. That's what I was going to go with, and I just kept saying it like, I think he's American. So I wanted to check that. Edgar Martinez
and
is...
a great DH he would have been.
Yes, he would have been a great DH. Now I'm left with some options. All right, that was my last little winning pick. I thought that could work. I am going to go... What's her name? Have I gone to Korea? I don't think I have, right?
I don't think you have, Pat.
No. So sorry, fans. I'm checking.
I can give you one. Dan.
Sure.
You know what I'm thinking? This is unique in my little notes. Out of Colombia.
Out of Colombia.
Country you don't have yet.
Trying to think if I need to move anyone around.
Because I was saving these for my ace
Right.
in the hole, but I didn't use anybody. I even have country left over.
Who's your Korean pick? Where's your Korea research?
Korea. Hang on for one
I'm
second.
totally cheating here.
Korea here. And I chose Sin Shu Choo for that.
Oh, that's Abreu.
Yeah, not much.
Okay, yeah.
Not a whole lot from Korea.
Okay, I don't know who I was thinking of.
You haven't chosen anybody from Mexico, have you?
I didn't choose a Mexican
you
player.
he wasn't bad.
I know it's not on my paper, and I apologize, fans at home. There's a Korean DH. Hideki Matsui was Japanese, right?
Correct.
Son of a gun.
Yep.
Well, fans, I will.
You can have the guy that the Cubs had as first baseman that got traded for Derek Lee.
He chopped Shohei.
Yeah, there you go. He's a Korean.
You know, all right. So there was a Bahamanian player that I've been following. He's in the. I'm going to take him as my DH. It's not a great option. He's more going to be of a bench player. I might move some people around. He could maybe play third base. He's currently on the Marlins. I was checking that he's actually from the Bahamas because I know it's right there. Jazz Chisholm will be my final pick. I know it's not a fancy pick, but hey, I want to represent the Bahamas.
Was it Mullins from the Yankees from Panama? Like Hensley Mullins? No,
I don't know that name.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry about that. That last pick took us some time, fans. Thanks for bearing with us. Jazz Chisholm will be my probable DH. Interestingly, I want to represent some current stuff. Dad, run me back your picks. Let's see for the fans who has the better lineup.
Catcher, I have Pudge.
We'll start with pitcher.
Pitcher, Bert Blyleven from Highland.
Pedro Martinez, I think, advantaged me. Go
know,
ahead.
but-
All right. I'm doing like a little track.
One of I think the only European player that got drafted.
I should have said Max Kepler. He was the German I was mentioning earlier. He got born in Germany.
Yeah, he'd been a great DH.
Yeah, son of a gun.
Yeah, great DH. But anyway, I was very happy with that, how things flew that. Go ahead, you want to name the positions? We'll go from there.
Go. Start with catcher.
I got Ivan Rodriguez from Puerto Rico.
I got Salvador Perez from Venezuela. I'll give you the advantage.
Yes. All right.
Gentlemen's rules. We know. 1-1.
First base, I have Joey Votto.
First base, I have Jose Abreu. That's tough.
I say Votto.
Debate. I think Votto too. I'll give you that, but it's not. It's the closest matchup.
And a left-handed hitter.
Abreu had an MVP.
Okay.
Debate.
Okay.
I would have loved to have gotten Votto, so sure, I'll give you the point.
That's why Drew that ace came in so handy.
It really did. It messed up my whole draft.
Second base, got Carew out of Panama.
And I had Roberto Alomar, another Hall of
Advantage
Famer.
you.
Okay, he does have more Gold Gloves.
Yes.
All right, 2-2.
I think he had more power too, but Carew is a hell of a player. Shortstop, I have Luis Aparicio of Venezuela.
I have Xander Bogaerts. I gave the advantage to you because she's Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So 3-2.
Yeah. Third base, I have Vinny Castillo out of Mexico.
I have Miguel Cabrera. This one's an easy one.
Yeah, so we're tied 3-3. Okay.
Left field.
Left field, I have Shin Choo.
I thought he was your DH.
Well,
Oh, that's Shohei's going to be your DH? Okay.
right. So I have him in left
an easy
field.
win for you. I have Larry Walker. I'll take it. So
Yep.
what's 4-3 me?
Yeah.
At this point? Okay.
Yeah. Center field, I have Vladimir Guerrero.
Playing center.
Yeah.
Who's your... We'll get to your right fielder then. That's going to be tough. Andrew Jones. I guess Vladimir Guerrero's better. Yeah, I guess Vladimir
Okay.
4-4.
Okay. And then right field, I have Tony Oliva out of Cuba.
You wouldn't want to play Tony Oliva in center?
I could.
Yeah, it's your call. It's your team.
Yeah, we can do it. Let's go. Because he was mainly...
I'm saying it because I think Andrew Jones
Okay.
is better than Tony Oliva. But that's
Oliva,
just
my
me.
center fielder. Vladimir, my right fielder.
And I have Ichiro in right field, so who's the matchup there?
Ichiro.
So you think I win with Andrew Jones over Oliva too?
Yes. Yes.
Put Vladdy in center, so you
Okay.
beat the matchup with me with Andrew Jones, and
Okay.
I'll beat the matchup with you with Tony Oliva with
Okay.
Ichiro.
Terrific.
I don't know what we're at anymore. It's probably pretty tight.
I think we're either... I think you're 4-4. And this the last one is going to be it.
And then you're going to win with Shohei over Jazz Chisholm. Even if I put Max Kepler.
Unbelievable Kevin Baby!
I think it's really tight. I think, obviously, I have the better pitcher, so if you value pitching over your hitting, that could be
defensively, I think I gotcha.
Defensively, all right, look at your stars. Salvador, for me, Salvador, anytime there's a gold glover, just put up a finger. Salvador Perez, Roberto Alamar, Andrew Jones. I don't know if Xander's ever won one, so I don't know. I don't know if his Abreu has won one. I'm sure Ichiro has. That's my 4. I said Roberto Alamar.
All right.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
Pudge. You. Votto? Yes, I believe.
I don't know, actually. That's fine.
Carew? Rod Carew? Yes. Louis Aparicio? 13 gold gloves. Vinnie Castillo? I don't think so. I'm not sure.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
But Shin, Choo? No. Ohtani? No. Vladimir? Yes. And then my other one, Oliva? I'm not sure.
It's a really fairly matched team, which is really fun.
It might come down to pitching.
I did learn this fun fact, that if we looked at U.S. states as countries as representation for MLB, it would go California, Florida, and then
Texas,
Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I'm sure for state-wise, but comparing U.S. states to countries, I know that's not really the most fair, but for those states it is. I mean, that's population-wise the same, if not greater, our side. But the Dominican is really represented in that it's tough. The islands are really growing with baseball. I think that's great.
The baseball academies they put there have really made a difference because they're taught English, they're given nutrition, and they really work on fundamentals.
Yeah.
They were using, cardboard boxes for gloves and then, yarn, for baseballs. Yeah. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, it was pretty bad conditions.
Yeah. So I didn't go to Europe at all. I don't really regret it. I think it probably would have been a better last play. My board got really dried up at the end. I wish I only had one non-really North American country. I mean, I guess Venezuela and South America, but I didn't have any sort of Korean players.
Xander is...
Aruba is either going to be the Caribbean or South America. But I have Venezuela, too. I'm just saying... I was very American, with the exception of Ichiro going to Japan. I didn't have any Korea. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have any Australian. Australian could have been a play.
I think there's been a few. I'm not. Maybe
a lot of pitchers.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You could have named the White Sox pitcher. He's from Australia.
Yeah, but that's a closer. Liam Hendricks. Yeah. Right. So is Peter Moylan, but. Yeah, just interesting to see who has baseball, but, there was no representation. None from Africa. There have been African minor leaguers. I don't know if there's ever been an African major leaguer. I think there were some Pirates minor leaguers that were African. But yeah, I don't... It's going to expand. I hope it expands farther into South America, too, and we're drafting, in 30 years, Chile and Ecuador.
More island countries will have baseball players soon. Because they're starting to scout in a lot of places they've never scouted before.
Mm-hmm. I think my dad might have bested me in this draft. Let us know in the comments. It was a really tight race. Getting Panama, I think were just daggers for me. I tried to...
Blyleven from Holland.
That was? You had a bigger spread of countries, which gave... I guess I boxed myself in more. I think I had 10 or 11 options. You had 15.
Well, look at the research.
I know. The research, I got outmatched. It was a chess game and he won. So yes.
Keep that in mind, people at home.
I'm really sad I couldn't get David Ortiz. I was trying to figure out a draft where I could get David Ortiz as well as Pedro, but once I knew I had to double up, once I lost Ivan Rodriguez, it was really tough to see how I had to double up Venezuela to get Sally and Miguel.
So catcher really made you that goof job.
The catching is it's Ivan Rodriguez, Sally, and then I think Yachty, if you want to say from Puerto Rico. I could have gone to Yachty, but God, I really like Sally a lot. And then
Great player.
Then I would lose Roberto Alamar once I lost Rod Carew, And then, like, where's the
If he
second
played
base
in
from
New
there?
York, he'd be a superhero.
What, Carew?
No. Salvador Perez.
Oh,
if he was
yeah.
in one of the big media towns, he would be just a star.
Well, look at second baseman. The second base options were Carew and Roberto Alamar.
And you had Cano, but
I don't want to go Cano.
I know that, but I'm just saying that was. And then I had Juan Samuel, and then Manny Trio.
Right. And I'm
It
sure.
went downhill.
And Altuve was probably on there as well. I don't really like Altuve, so he wasn't on my board. He also might be from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic. So it didn't give me enough, freedom to draft even more players. This was tough.
I was just going to say that this is harder than you think because there's some countries that really had a lot of players on the board, and then you really had to reach far to go from other countries and everything else. So once you took away Dominican, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, then you had to get creative.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna. If you asked me what country I was gonna double up from pre-draft, I would say Cuba, because I thought I could go. Cespedes, Puig, Minnie Minoso didn't make this draft.
I love Minnie Minoso.
And I thought I was going to do Puig, Cespedes, left field DH.
Yeah. You know what? He played, I think, in his late 40s, early 50s with the White Sox and all that stuff. And he was one of the ones that broke the color barrier as well. And I think
he played for a long time.
Yeah. And I think he may have been the first Cuban player. I'm not sure. But he had a great career in the White Sox and everything else. He was a hero in Chicago.
So. I didn't even think about Sammy. I mean, I guess that's a snub for me. But DR-wise.
Yeah.
Juan Marichal, DR-wise, yeah. Luis Tion. Oh, that's a good pick. Yeah, he had a manager, too. I gave him that. I didn't have a manager. Felipe Alou from the Dominican Republic.
Can you name the other Alou brothers?
Moises Alou? Or
No,
Moises?
no. But no, the Felipe era.
Oh.
Felipe, it was...
No, I cannot. I remember Moises Alou or Moises Alou.
Manny Alou and... Who's the other one?
Manny Acta is the only Manny that comes to my mind. Manny Machado. He's from America. But this was a really...
Jesus Alou, Matty Alou, Felipe Alou, all three brothers played on the same team. Can you name that same team?
Montreal Expos.
San Francisco Giants.
I don't know anything about the Alous, and I apologize to the Alou family. 60s. But when we get to... If we ever do Hall of Very Good for the 60s, I'm going to get scorched by this guy.
I had the black and white TV for you.
Yeah, exactly. He lived through it. But yeah, so it was really challenging. Just with the rules and the parameters we set up, I think it made it more fun because I like being challenged. Yeah, I thought I did enough research. I think you just did a little bit more, and you won. So I seed the Union seeds here. So congratulations to I don't know who won the first draft.
I think that was close as well.
Yeah, these are really close drafts. Let us know. Rewatch the Hall of Very Good.
That was fun to do.
The 90s.
That was tough, and I think I pulled out a few that you didn't think of, and all that stuff. But it was very, very close.
Yeah.
So that was fun as well, and I really appreciate you letting me do this. This is fun.
This is great. Oh no, this is fodder. I hope that people that do watch our stuff know how challenging it is sometimes with the research, whether that's the trivia or whether it's this stuff. And also do it on your own. I mean, really think who was missed. Put that in the comments. Challenge one of your baseball friends to do this. If you're bored at work one day, do this. And just, hey, let's start small. Let's draft a Cuban baseball team. Let's draft a Mexican baseball team, Canadian baseball team, whatever it might be. This was obviously the best stars of each country. But it just really does show how the greatest game ever has impacted many different cultures, many different languages, different climates. I mean, it's awesome.
What a great country to give those guys an opportunity to play baseball in this country and probably really help their, home country in many, many ways. I mean, there's so many examples of David Ortiz going back to his country, Pedro going back to his home country to help them because of what they did in America.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Great draft, tough L. We'll be back in the future for drafting.
I just found a little gem out of Brazil.
Yan Gomes. Yeah, Brazilian player. That's fun. See what I mean? It's expanding down to South America, too. We'll be back in the future. Probably some more drafts for the Hall of Very Good for the 80s and 2000s versions. If you find other things that could be fun to draft, like this concept, let us know. But the big thing that we have cooking, and this could be even more challenging, and after tonight it makes me want to do even more research, is the father and son draft. So the next big draft
cool.
we have is going to draft father and son pairings to form baseball teams. So, for example, obviously the easy example here, I really hope I get an ace here, the Griffies. They would be, you would take both Griffies.
Could you imagine your face if I did that?
He's got the higher card twice now. So the Griffies being drafted, and it's clearly the number 1 overall pick. You would have to put, Junior in center, Ken, his senior, in right, or I guess in left if you had to move some people around. So you have to take both dad and son, and then we will take turns and all that stuff. But that's something to look forward to. That's going to be really challenging, possibly heart-wrenching if I have to go face Griffey in this fantasy world.
I'll wear my Griffey shirt that day.
I'm going to wear my Griffey shirt that day. I'm going to just get a different deck that's all aces. Thank you for watching, guys. This was actually shorter than we thought it was going to be. But we really appreciate you guys listening. Give us a like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, man. Post it on some social media. Give us a tag. Father and Son Pastime Podcast.
Thank you for watching.